So when I started, I didn't have any other special effects people. I knew Michelle for several years, and she was doing some makeup and different things like that, and she was great.
I'm Michelle Munoz, aka Michelle of the Dead. I was the makeup department head.
And so I brought her on to help lead that team. I was doing the writing, I was producing, I was doing props, costumes, wardrobe, locations, like getting all the stuff done, trying to bring some people on. And so I asked Michelle to help and to be the department head lead and start finding some makeup artists.
And I got to collect all these wonderful people to help make a beautiful project.
Play with my balls and rectum.
And so we started looking around, and then our assistant director, Kim Terrison, she was also a makeup artist, but she was going to be doing a lot of other things, so she couldn't be a part of the makeup team. So she started going back, contacting her old school, putting some notices out, and that's where Naomi came in.
I'm Naomi Meacham-Miller. I was the lead makeup and special effects artist for Vengeance 2.
Is this your car?
Someone will enjoy that.
And so between Michelle and Naomi, they really helped dominate and control and run that whole thing, and were really good go-to people. So I'm really, really grateful for them.
Hi, I'm Ella Moore, and I'm one of the makeup artists as well as the key hairstylist to Vengeance Part 2.
I'm Jade. I was Naomi's assistant, and I worked on some of the wigs during the reshoots and pickups for Vengeance Part 2.
I am Amanda. I did effects and a little bit of makeup during the Vengeance.
Hi there, my name is Justin Myers, and I was one of the makeup and effects artists for Friday the 13th, Vengeance Part 2.
Enjoy being there.
What's going on, guys? My name is Brent Edgett. I was hired on to come in and assist on the makeup effects to Vengeance 2.
I think one of the craziest things that I learned from this was actually how long the filming days were.
It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. Are we recording?
I think the longest day that I was on set was probably about 23 hours, and it was one of the last days.
It was awesome. Most of the shooting was done at night because most of the scenes were at night, and so it was kind of like having to revamp your whole sleep schedule.
And I remember I slept like 30 minutes in my car.
It was honestly the absolute best time of my life.
Even when we had a lot of like downtime, I remember that Michelle and we would go find a random plot of grass and just take a nap somewhere, or just look at the sky at night. And it's the moments like that that you're going to cherish over the long days.
I was so fortunate to be able to be part of this history being made with all these characters around, and all the old school characters, and just Jason Brooks and just the whole cast and crew of everyone. It was an absolutely phenomenal experience.
It was so much fun. You know, we all became very close.
You know, you work until the sun comes up, and then you sleep for a couple hours, and you get some meals in between.
We all became a little family. You know, it was basically like being at summer camp.
Cool though, because it was kind of like a family, like you're going to adult camp.
We all lived together for a few weeks.
You know, you're with these same people for 2 weeks straight. You know, you're just playing adult dress up basically and makeup, and it was super fun. You know, we ate together, we worked together, we laughed together.
We got bloody together.
We got bloody together.
We had a blast. There was never a dull moment.
Working on the set of Vengeance 2 was by far the funnest thing I've ever got to do.
You know, honestly, you look back at it now and I wouldn't change it.
Take one. Mark.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3, action! Oh my gosh. That's, did you get it?
I got it, yeah.
Well, we had one chance. Oh my goodness gracious.
Am I cutting?
No, I'm just gonna get some BTS here. I just took a shower. Well, Tina, how's it feel to be a part of the club? I'm just getting BTS. You can cut if you want. Yay, Naomi, everyone. What a pair of shoes. Should have shot that slow mo. Okay, thank you, Ruby.
Yeah, and it was super hot too. There were some day scenes. And that summer we had a heat wave, and it was like almost like, what was it, like 110, 115?
It's hot in there, ain't it?
It was so hot. And, you know, and of course Jason's in like pounds of layers of his costume and sweating, and you're trying to give him like water through a straw, and you're fanning him. We're all just dying, but but I think we had so much fun. It was such a great learning experience, and everybody worked together so well, I think, for the most part, and it was a blast. I had a great time. It was life-changing for me, for sure.
Okay.
So we'll gut her, choke her with her intestine.
Yep. Perfect. Excellent.
Gut her, choke her.
One of my favorite moments from filming was seeing, honestly, as cheesy as it sounds, it's seeing how movies are made. I've always been a huge movie fan, but I always loved watching the behind the scenes stuff. After I watched my favorite movie, I'd always watch how the behind the scenes clips and see how it was made, because to me that was always fascinating, and seeing just how things come together. You get a very small taste of it watching a behind the scenes clip, but actually being there and experiencing it, you really get a different appreciation for what goes into making a film, let alone making the scene.
Working with Ryan and Tenna and Cody was amazing. They all had just the best energy in the room.
Okay. Cool. All right, let's do it.
And I don't think I'm ever gonna forget them walking out in crop tops and short shorts.
Oh my god, that was the best ever. It was like the 80s all over again. Short shorts, half shirts, dancing. They were so much fun. So much positive enery came from those guys.
Yeah, and they're so talented.
Oh,
too.
they're so good. So good. So professional as well.
Some titties. That was a dude, bro. What was it? I saw a nipple and I'm like, yeah. Didn't even care. Show him some devil tit. Damn.
Best camera crew ever.
I remember I was driving home with you and Jason one night, and I was telling them in the car, I was like, Cody is just so good at his job. It's so intimidating and scary, and I don't know, they just make you feel like a family no matter where you are in the
for
totem
sure.
pole of the thing. So, and like I said at the premiere that we got to go to, and I was like, I forgot that you weren't with us during the whole thing, because it's just like a family.
Right.
Everybody's always here. So.
And most of us have stayed in touch too after filming, and we're all pretty close. And I, speaking for myself, I love all you guys. So,
So creepy. Oh, the kids on the baseball field were like, that's terrifying.
And then when it comes to some of the kills, I like to write environment kills. One thing that I really enjoy is that Jason is resourceful in the way that he kills people.
My favorite was Amy's character, Michelle. When she had her rib cage ripped up, there's a bunch of us away with our little contraptions making the heart beat and the lungs, breathe and blood squirt. It was really awesome. That was a really, 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 really good kill. And she did great too. Her screaming and running, and it was kind of sad to see her die. I love her. It was a great kill.
I really like that aspect. I like that creativity where he does that. And to me, Jason just goes around. He's a walking, stalking, killing machine, and he just grabs what's around and uses it in the way that his simple mind would use it. I see Jason as kind of semi-intelligent, but not so intelligent that he's got good mechanical skills and precision, aim, and that kind of thing. Especially now that he's been zombified. Maybe when he was still alive and still human, I think that he might have been able to hold a gun or aim something. So now I think he's just kind of partial-minded. So when he picks up a bow and arrow, he's not going to pick it up and aim and shoot it, in my mind. He's going to use it blunt force. He's going to use the string to strangle somebody or to pull and cut their head off somehow. And when he picks up a chainsaw, he's not going to be Leatherface running around chopping people up, holding this as a tool. I think, in my mind, he's going to do it different. So when I do have the pickaxe and I have the chainsaw and I have the bow and arrow, I was like, how can I make this different? How would Jason use this? If he was basically like a Neanderthal, would he pick up a bow and arrow and instantly know how to use that? No. But he could pick up an arrow and know that it's sharp and know that he can impale someone with it. And the chainsaw. Does he know how it works? Not necessarily, but it's sitting there on this barrel, and so I thought, how about you push the face down onto it? He sees that's a sharp object that's spinning around. Why not just shove a head down onto it, take care of business that way? So that's kind of the way I like to right is to kind of make creative kills and not do what's expected with the pickaxe, slamming it into someone's head or slamming it into their body, but to then take a head and push it onto the spike of a pickaxe.
My favorite kill has got to be the C.J. Graham kill from Jason Voorhees himself. Build up in the tension, the story is just all pushed to that moment, and then Jason just rips his heart right out of his chest and it explodes on the wall. And that was definitely the funnest to watch, and I know it was definitely fun to do on set.
I don't know, it's hard for me to pick a favorite kill because they're all so good. I would say it's a toss-up for me between the spine rip thing for Jacqueline who plays Courtney.
The first kill I was making was the Courtney kill. I really wanted that one to hurt. In one of the versions, the Courtney character had a bigger role and you really felt for her. She had children, she had all kinds of things going for her, and these girls really bonded with her. And so she was one of the ones that you thought would make it to the end, and you really wanted her to make it. And so I really wanted that gut-wrenching scene where she's trying to get through, you think she gets through and then she's not, but then she dies. And then you see the life coming out of her eyes and stuff. And I really wanted it to be brutal and complete, you know. So that was one of the first ones I wrote for the final script, and one of the first ones I started working on. All nice and like lifelike and everything. The actress is gonna lay down here, head up here, and then when it's time to kill, punch in the neck, grab the spine, start ripping, tearing, she's screaming and stuff, and they start peeling it back, peeling it up. We'll have all the ultra slime and the blood and the ooze and the goo, and make it look nice and tasty. So we did a body cast of the actress, and I started assembling all the parts and pieces and putting that together, and really just wanted to make that one of the big ones.
Because it looked so cool and it was so fun to put the blood on it.
It was.
And then it was playing with slime and blood is always very fun. And then I think the other one would be the chainsaw face. In the cabin.
As you can have the same favorite, it's okay.
But yeah, I would say that one because it looked so cool. It was so fun, and that was also the first one that I got to before we started filming. That was the first effect that I helped like build a little bit. So the first time that I met Jason was doing that casting. We cast the actors kind of head and shoulders, so we could get a good, replica face to then cut off. And that was the first effect that I helped out with on the film. And it was just so fun. It was the first time that I had did a live cast in a couple of years actually, and it was just a lot of fun. And then the shoulders we didn't go far enough down on the shoulders, so those are actually my shoulders in the movie. We kind of spliced them together.
That's so cool.
Thank you.
Would have to be the one where Jason's pulling the leg off of the bridesmaid or party-goer person, just because everybody had so much fun with that one. Especially Michelle, there was some kind of joke and I can't remember what it was, but we took a picture. But regardless, everybody had fun.
It was super fun.
Yeah, exactly.
And her scream was phenomenal. So loud, so real. I had no idea that came out of her, or it could come out of her. It was like, holy girl. It was amazing.
Yeah, I know Justin, since unfortunately can't be here, I know that probably was his favorite too, or around that.
If I had to pick my favorite kill, there were so many, and they were all so good. But I think my favorite would probably be, it was on the roadblock scene. And I think she was the RV driver. It was Lily Von Trapp, amazing actress. It was her kill, because this was sort of the first one that I got to do. And I remember I was laying on the ground, and I was basically between Jason Brooks, who played Jason Voorhees. I was basically between his legs on the floor with a giant tube of blood that I had to like pump, and when I did it, it went everywhere, and everywhere. I was covered. Everyone was covered. The crew with the camera was covered, and it looked cool. But and then we did it again, and we did it with Lily because then I got to pump it again, and it was so fun and hilarious. But we got it, and it looked really cool. I'm sorry to the camera, Cody, but it looked good.
He just loved squirting that blood, trying to make it look like it was coming
Yeah,
out of him.
yeah, it was good times.
It's pretty nice.
I think that my favorite kill was probably just when Jason was pulling Peter's head off. Just that half skull, just being underneath and having to shove all of that blood out of all of the tubing, and it was hard. It was so hard, but it was so worth it, and it was so fun.
I love the mechanics of all that stuff.
Yeah.
People don't realize how much goes into even small little simple scenes or seemingly simple scenes.
Right.
You know, there's really a lot that goes into it.
Well, and it got cold, and the blood started getting like
Thicker
really
and-
thick, and so you had
we had it in a big bowl.
big
like,
bowl,
mixed
and
it
we
with
were all
water.
just trying to
Yeah.
shove the thing through, and it was just staying in all of those tubes.
That is a great shot.
There was like so many different effects. I didn't even remember until I saw some of the behind the scenes pictures, like painting a watermelon, flesh colored to be somebody's head, and like I totally forgot about doing that until I saw the behind the scenes photo. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that.
So, are we not going to talk about this whole situation?
Yes, that.
The whole sequence for the morgue was like probably one of my favorites because I got to bond a lot with Diana Prince, who's one of the nicest people I've ever met. But outside of that, it was really cool to meet Peter Anthony. I'd never met him before. He's very intimidating at first, but he's also very funny. So that was really fun because he was so convinced he was gonna get these sclera lenses in for the scene. He didn't.
It was not gonna.
It was not gonna happen, but he
Were
was
they, like,
so.
too
I
big,
tried
or-
so
Yeah, they were a
long.
little bit too big, but he was so convinced, and it was so fun to just be back there and work with him. And like I said, Diana was really nice. She was asking me how I got into everything, so it was nice to bond with that. And then just to be able to like officially like hang out with Naomi and Jason more was really cool because I had talked to them a lot during the release of Vengeance 1 and like sat and helped Jason at the booth at Crypticon the year that had come out. And so to like see all the behind the scenes stuff that I got to see for Vengeance 1 and then be a part of Vengeance 2 was super cool. And I was like, ooh yay, morgue scene! Ooh yay, fight scene! It's like skipping around in my dreams.
Yeah.
Woo! Much better.
But like the roadblock scene.
So the roadblock kills were just made up on the spot. I left some room open for us to play with so that once we were on set, we knew what the environment was, what there would be, because I didn't want to ever write something and be locked into it and then pass up a good opportunity to use something in the environment. Only a few of those were written out in the script and the rest were kind of made up.
Because I know we did some like reshoots and pickups. I would have loved to have been there just because it was pure chaos.
I want to take it to that level of fun to see all these unique ways. So if you're going down the roadblock and you have 15 people in there that we're killing off, if they're all just walking up and Jason stabbing each one, it's not going to be that interesting. It's like, okay, let's move on.
I love that stuff, but it also had some of the most fun kills.
If there's something unique about it where he's pulling the guts out of a person and choking the next person with the intestines.
Killed with the intestines around her neck.
Oh my god,
The
yeah.
arse neck.
Yes.
And the stop sign.
You know, smashing someone in the car door. Those things, to me, become more fun to see, like, oh, what's next, and each one kind of more fun and gross than the last.
I remember just that whole sequence was so cool, and it would have been so much fun to be able to like be there during all of that.
Yeah, there were so many people milling around also, and like, you know, the road, you know, we had to like have people watching because there was a road that, you know, cars have to go past. So it's like, stop for car! You know, so production
Like
halts.
playing hockey in the street.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it's
like,
totally
being a little
fine.
kid again.
Yeah, and it's like there's so many people, and it just went so fast though, and it went so well, and it just like boom, boom, boom. There was not very many hiccups really.
Yeah.
I mean it went pretty well.
Yeah. Somehow I kind of like missed the whole thing, but I wish I was there to witness it, especially what happened to Ticker's car.
1, 2, 3, action!
Oh. Shit. Oh. It went on my car?
It did the reverse. Try one more time.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
I don't know whatever happened to that. I hope he still has it, and I hope it's still covered in blood.
Yeah.
I do believe it is still to this day covered in blood.
Oh my
I
gosh.
love that.
It is. You told me yesterday.
That's funny. Yeah. Well, when he got his head smashed on my van, I never washed the van. The blood is still there. Yeah. And it's it's been several seasons since then, so it's kind of washed up, but you can see a little bit of like. I mean, it's stained on there.
And that's actually
perfect.
like the one that I wish I could have been there for. I had to work. So
That was so good. And then I had everybody sign the back of the van. So that was awesome. Yeah.
For me, I think it was also the roadblock. There was so much chaos and things. Like There were so many kills. And it just wasn't physically possible for everyone to be at everything.
We were running.
So,
we were literally running back and forth up the hill, and back to the prop room, and down the hill, and across the field.
Yeah.
So definitely got our steps in.
Yeah.
Gosh, they were so gross and brutal.
Honestly, a lot of gross ones.
I think it could have been Morgan's kill at the end with the head smash.
75. Actually, gross. Take one, mark.
Some of the kills I didn't have prepared. I knew how they'd be executed. I knew that we could do it on set. For example, Forster. So with Deputy Forster, at the end, I knew that we were gonna kill him and crush his head. I didn't know how it was gonna be until the end. And originally that was gonna be Jason. But once we were filming that fight, we realized, Elias hasn't had a good kill in here.
Yeah, because it's like, why would he come towards you? Scary.
Scary. That's scary. So scary. So scary. Yeah.
He's been very brutal. He's tortured Ashley Jarvis, played by Sanaya. Poor Thom McLoughlin, who plays Walt, but he hasn't killed anyone. So Cody and I were talking during the last bit of filming, and he's like, I really think that CJ needs this kill in here. And I was like, really? And he said, yeah, it's kind of imbalanced, and we really haven't had him kill anyone in here. I said, oh my God, you're right. We got so busy in this and focused on Jason. You're right, let's do it. So we did that, and when it came down to it, it was one of those environment kills. Like, what do we have? And we saw they had that giant cross in there, in the church. And so I was like, well, what if we smash someone's head with that? Smash Forster's head. So that's what we did. And instantly, it's like, I knew how it was going to be made. I knew how we were going to execute it. And we pulled out the old watermelon, painted it up to look like Forster, threw a wig on it, and then blended the two scenes, two bits together. We filmed it twice, one with Forster in it, one with him out with a dummy body and the watermelon head. And so that when the cross comes down and smashes that watermelon, the watermelon guts, we fill it with blood as well. So we have blood and hair and everything in it. So when it comes down and smashes, you've got all this natural, on-screen, practical gore that just explodes out of that watermelon. And it was great.
That just made me depressed.
Because it was so. Maybe it wasn't the goriest.
No, it was because we loved his character.
It was that implied,
we loved his character, and having him die was really sad.
There was that one, and then the roadblock again. There was, I don't know where those, I don't even remember where those intestines came from, but then they went around someone's neck, and then she was dead, and then it was the next one, and you just see blood everywhere, and you're like, oh wow.
Yeah. I honestly think the worst one for me was just seeing my real friends, their kills, like just watching all of Tick's face and hair go across the side of Michelle's van. Michelle's head just being ripped off, and
I really liked Darcy being cut in half, and all the guts. Somebody getting cut in half is pretty freaking brutal.
Yeah,
that's probably as brutal as it gets.
For sure. You see it all there, and you're like, oh, that's what's inside my body.
I honestly think that her acting very much so played into that. Like it was just a hardcore scene.
Oh yeah, yeah, and she was so good too. You know, she did her own stunts. Oh yeah. She's going. She's like, let's do it again. Let's do it again. Oh yeah, yeah. In between scenes, she's doing yoga and she's doing her stretches, and she's like in such good shape. And, yeah, totally badass.
Yeah, think about Danny though. Danny. Yeah, Danny's
I can't even look at you. You're so fucking scary.
And with all the like little teeth that you see on the table.
Yeah, that was fun building the bags of blood too. It's like, okay, I need some plastic bags and a bunch of tape.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Blood bladders.
Yes. So fun. I think I made about 3 of those.
Yeah, there were a lot. But I also think, actually, now that I'm fully thinking through the whole movie in my head,
rewatch,
right? Maybe Amy's kill was the goriest, because you see, you know, she gets ripped up. You see all the like the pumping of everything.
I love that.
But she's still alive. Like she does die fairly quickly, but like you can see her alive and screaming
and her heart's
like,
beating.
oh god,
Pretty brutal.
You know,
yeah, that was so much fun.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that. It's dark. We're laying in the grass with all these tubes leading to her, and we're all
like 5 people around her.
Yeah, you don't see it.
Yeah,
in
no,
the
I
film.
missed that one.
Oh, that was a good one. I'll send you pictures.
Next time.
Oh, you again!
Yeah, Richie's kill was beautiful. It was sad. It was almost poetic, and
it makes me like cry.
Yeah, well,
every
because
time.
he's so sweet and I know him, but just like seeing that, and then the eye, that was just like, it was such a small part of a scene, but it was like, it packed like a huge punch. It really did.
Yeah.
I remember watching that scene for the first time because I got to watch the first rough cut of it before I was a part of any of it or anything, and like, I'm a crybaby. I'm willing to admit I am a crybaby, but that scene with Lynn and Kelly like ripped my heart out, and then watching it again and seeing how well everything else had blended together with like the visual effects that they had added and the eye, and I was like, oh god, I'm gonna cry again.
Yeah,
it's
it
so
looked
beautiful
so real.
and it's so
legitimate.
good.
Yes,
Definitely. It was amazing. I didn't actually know how Richie Ramone died, so when I saw it in film, I was just blown away because the visual effects and everything was just amazing. I was like,
seamless.
Yeah, that was like
Absolutely
the perfect blend of practical and VFX.
Yeah.
Because it was, I wasn't there while you were shooting it, but didn't you shot like all of the individual parts of it and then edit it together and then put a couple of like VFX things on it, and it's just, I love that stuff. I think it's so cool.
It's so seamless and perfect.
Yeah.
And I think that using him for that scene was perfect too, because he's just got that intense blue eye.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I had no idea how he died. I had no idea where it was within the film, and so just, you know, seeing him crying, and you know, I wish there was more that I could do, and I'm so sorry, and just that heartfeltness, and you could feel it in your soul,
right?
And then that jump to there's just machete. It's like, you know, that was in and of itself just hard. But then you see his eye.
Yeah, that's just
and the way that it was put into the film, the way that they put it in graphics wise was just amazing. It didn't look like it was.
Yeah, definitely. That's always what gets me, is when people are like being killed but they're still alive to like have the pain of it, and then also with all the emotional gravity of that scene.
Yeah.
No.
I slated at the beginning.
Oh, well, great.
So that and the that scene at the end with Kelly and Sanaya, so Angelica and Ashley.
Yeah, that's still
say it.
They're about
that's
to,
mine too.
Oh my gosh! No, I love you. They know she's about to like.
Yeah.
Move over. There she goes. Now you're her.
At that point, you just grab her.
I love you.
I love you.
Smash.
That's it. Okay, so you'll be in that position with her up. Okay.
Yeah.
And their acting was just beautiful. beautiful.
It's so
Yeah.
good. Well, and that one just felt very real because I know, like, even like Kelly and Sanaya both talk about how they feel like they're like sisters too, which is really cool. But like, as somebody who has an older sister too, and I was witnessing that, I was like, oh God. And then I was like, oh God, what if that's my sister?
Yeah.
And then I think that was like the only moment when I was watching the movie that I was like actually like, I cried, but that one had me like sobbing because not only was it so well done emotionally, the like effect of Kelly's dead was so sad. Like, it was so beautiful, the blood was so good, but it was so sad.
Yeah. And even though I know she didn't die, when I was watching the movie, I was like, wait, did they change it?
Is she really dead?
Woo! Movies!
One little bit.
I would do like a lot.
A lot?
I would do a lot.
Like I'm dying.
Like,
dying.
like it's a puddle.
Head wounds bleed a lot.
That's
Okay.
true. All right, dump it on me.
Alright.
Oh, wait, do you want to?
No, it's good.
Are we sure?
Yeah, do it.
I'll get you a new one.
Do it!
Yeah, go for it.
Tilt your head a little bit.
Back.
No, this way. Oops.
It's in my underwear!
Working movies, they said!
It'll be fun, they said.
I like that. See? When she would
So, they needed a stand-in for Kelly's hand because during the movie she was Kelly had already gone back to LA, and so it was supposed to be Naomi. Like, this was supposed to be Naomi, but then
I have a messed up finger and tattoos.
yeah.
It's just- it doesn't
It's
work.
like,
Messed
oh,
up
do
finger
you want to
that
be?
did it.
Do you want to be Kelly's hand? I was like, yeah, sure. So I was like, oh wait, I have a tattoo on my arm. Kelly doesn't have a tattoo, and I was like, no, we'll just throw blood on you and it'll be perfect. She already has blood on her for the scene. So Naomi coated my hand in blood, and I went in the truck to do the like knife pull for Cody. And then Cody's like, well, you're wearing a sweater. This isn't working because your sweater's in the way. So I had to pull up my entire sweater. It got coated in blood.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It was. I hung it up on the wall until we had to go wash it. But so like we did it, and I was like, well, great. Now I wonder what one's gonna end up in the movie. So when we went to the premiere, my boyfriend knew. But like as soon as it came on screen, I like leaned over to him and I was like, "That's my hand!"
That's awesome.
I love it.
My first on-screen was actually more audio. They needed more girls in the RV to scream, and I was there, so I was like, yes, you can hear me screaming.
Yeah. I didn't know that part.
I was like, yes, I felt so cool. I was like, this is my start to fame.
Yeah. I'm a scream queen now.
Yeah, there we go. I might have to steal that. Yeah, and then of course I was in the funeral patron, which upon seeing that on screen, I was like, oh my god, this is not what I look like.
Exact same
We always
thing.
look and sound different than we think we do.
Exactly. So I thought I was doing so good though with my crying too, and then when I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, that was not good.
Oh, you did awesome. Shut up.
It's okay though.
You guys did great.
Yeah, I feel it. I was also in the funeral scene, and it was weird. I was in my like work clothes and stuff. I think I was actually wearing the same flannel. And I was like, I can't go to a funeral looking like this. So I went back in the wardrobe room, and I actually fit into one of Sanaya's dresses.
Nice.
Which is ridiculous. I could never, not now, but that was kind of fun.
How
and
cool.
I also, because we were all running around doing all the makeup and stuff, I didn't have time to put makeup on my own face.
Oh.
So that's a little weird for me. I just stuck on some like gigantic sunglasses, and I was like,
There you go.
This will be good enough.
I
Yeah.
remembered seeing that. I was like, dang.
I will say, Justin makes a really good sheriff deputy.
He certainly does.
He does.
I was so
Yeah.
excited when they were
He
like,
looks so
"Here you go,
handsome."
take it." And
Aw.
He looked perfect.
I wish he was
Yeah.
here. You know,
Justin, we wish you were here. I'm sorry, bud. We miss you.
I had a scene in the roadblock scene. I was the driver of the van.
Huh.
Dude,
Like, how much time do we actually fucking have right now?
like 2 hours?
You need to call the fucking venue. We're not gonna make it.
We're not gonna make it. When we were on our way to a gig, and we got stuck in the roadblock, and we were gonna be late, and we had to like call the venue, and then they were fucking around in the car and being ridiculous because everybody was hot, and we were late, and we were angry, and then Jason started his rampage, and I ended up getting decapitated off screen, and you could get to see my head thrown and rolled, and it was pretty awesome. It was so fun.
I mean, I like this head better.
Well, it's not my house, but they did like a cast of my head, and it was like the weirdest experience because I've never had that happen before. I've never had a cast of anything done, and here's my head, and like your head's shaped like this, so it's smaller here. So when it's hardened and cured and you pull it off, it squeezes. And it was like, I like to tell people it was like giving birth to my own head, taking that thing off, because it was like, you remember? I was like, just keep pushing.
But it worked.
That was so crazy. And then we got to put the hair on it and paint a face. It looked just like me.
My favorite part of that was that the one eyelash was like kind of falling off.
Yeah.
It was just so. If you get your head ripped off, your lashes are not gonna stay stuck.
That was so hard.
I mean, unless it's the Tory Bell.
Valid. I don't know. It was silicone. Nothing sticks to silicone, except silicone. So the lashes had a really hard time sticking on.
Yeah.
But that was fun, and I actually use that head a lot. Sometimes, like, I'll go to my neighbor's house and I'll just set it on their patio. Michelle, come get your head. It's like 2 doors down. We're friends with them and stuff, so it's kind of cool.
I got to work with some of the most amazing, talented people that I've met, and it was such a cool experience.
There was a lot of really talented makeup artists on board, so I was really just trying to find my place for the first few days.
Coming into this sort of new, and again, this being the first film that I've done, every day was basically a new learning experience, and so I was always excited to come to set and see what we're doing that day, challenge myself to do something new that I've never done before, create something, collaborate. It was such a fun opportunity.
But then Jason Brooks gave me the amazing task of getting to do Darcy Demoss's makeup from Friday the 13th Part 6.
Darcy Demoss, I did makeup on her. I was basically her primary makeup artist. We bonded really well, actually. We're friends. I had her on my podcast, and sometime I'm gonna go visit her in LA. But it was really good. It wasn't intimidating, really. I thought I was gonna be intimidated, just because I'm putting makeup on Darcy Demoss, and then
One of the most exciting moments for me working on this, besides everything, was getting to meet some of the people that I've watched for years.
We got to work with different celebrities from the franchise, even different ones from other franchises like Tamara Glynn from the Halloween franchise. So it was just really great to just be able to work around them and assist them as they needed.
CJ Graham and Thom McLoughlin, who directed Part 6, which is one of my favorite ones out of the series, was so cool. Seeing Thom Mathews.
Thom Mathews came on set. It was actually a big surprise to nearly everybody.
Again, coming back as Tommy Jarvis was a shocker because none of us knew about it.
So that was a really pleasant surprise to see him on board.
And so when he came on set, it was such a like, whoa, this is cool kind of moment.
Easily the best time on set is when CJ Graham and Thom McLoughlin were on camera together, just seeing those two and their chemistry that they've had for years and years past, and to see it come out on camera. And they were just really great and hilarious together, but it was also very nostalgic and fun to see them play off one another. It's good stuff.
Tommy McLoughlin and Paul Taylor and Richie Ramone.
Richie Ramone was such a gentleman, and getting to do his makeup, and it was one of those moments where he came in and I was doing his eyeliner and we were talking, and it didn't click to me who he was until after. And so we were just having a conversation. I think I was complaining about work or something. And as soon as he walked up, I froze, and I was like, holy crap. It was such a surreal moment that it just took me a minute to process. And I remember, it's so stupid, but being a Guitar Hero fan and playing I Want to Be Sedated on Expert was a big flashback, and it was such a surreal experience that I never thought I would get to do.
When I did like D-Shine on all the boys and maybe like some dark circles and stuff like that, but it's like, it's really kind of intimate. You're like face to face with this person, and you're in their bubble, and you're touching them, and you're getting to know them, and you're having conversations, and now it's not like I'm, oh my god, it's a celebrity. It's like I'm I'm connecting with another really cool person, and that was really cool. I'm still in touch with those folks too. It's great, you know. Yeah, Tiffany couldn't be here tonight, which is unfortunate. She played a big part in our special effects. She provided a lot of the blood and some of the prosthetics too for
Paul Taylor's arm break at the campfire. She made that whole thing and it looked awesome. It was also so fun to play with.
Yeah. I've worked with her before on a project or two also, so it's pretty cool. So yeah, her contributions were definitely appreciated.
Yeah.
And then Justin also can't be here. Do you guys remember Justin's water bottle?
Yes!
Justin's water bottle had its own little following. It was it was in all the pictures. It was where's Justin's water bottle? And it was just a thing. Yeah, he was so much fun. We had a lot of fun together. Brent Edgett. He was, he came from out of state on his own accord, and they housed him and let him stay there. But he was a huge part of the special effects.
He did so many things.
He did. Yeah, I worked with him a lot. I think I worked with him more than I worked with any of the other artists. We did Darcy's face together because he created the scars.
We had prosthetic transfer materials, just little scar pieces that we were able to stick to her face, nice and easy, like transfer tattoos. And we did her all up, and it was amazing to bring her character back from the dead, so to speak.
We painted that leg together. We just had a lot of fun. He has so much energy. It's dude, I need to bottle that up and take some. You need to sell that shit because he has it's so much natural energy, and he's so good at what he does. And it's he really needs to move out here and be part of the team. Cause
I think so. Love it.
Yeah, Brent, you need to move to Seattle.
Yes, you do. And he's the kind of person that anyone at all, no matter who you are, no matter what your role is, they would say, "Oh, I need this thing to happen," and he would jump up and go, "Yes, let me help you."
Didn't he also cut his finger really bad or something during filming? He had to go to the hospital and get stitches.
He went to the hospital and then he came back.
And then he came right back.
Yeah.
He's really awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, so many awards.
Yeah. It's so cool to get the recognition for our team's work, because I know that every single one of us worked so hard on this, and it really was a passion project for everyone involved. And I know it was my first film, and it was really, what launched me into my career and my love of working on film. And I know that a couple of you guys, it was your first film too, and it's so cool to get the recognition and love for all of the amazing work that we did. So.
Yeah, we did really good together, and we couldn't have done it without everybody.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I can't believe I gotta give props to Jason too, because a lot of the bigger, he did a lot of the casts and all that sort of stuff, and planned everything, and just basically give us a blueprint for everything that we could do. It was pretty awesome. I just can't believe how many awards are coming in. It's crazy.
Not only was this the first film I ever got to work on, it's honestly one of my favorite horror movie series, and it holds a very special place to my heart because I remember staying up in the middle of the night when I was younger with my grandmother.
The award stuff's really cool because so my mom doesn't watch scary movies, and she can't even handle the first Friday the 13th movie. But the day that we had gotten that huge post about the makeup awards, I shared it on my Facebook, and my mom texted me. She's like, "Wait a second, is this a movie that you did?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "I have to post this everywhere because now I have to watch it. All of my friends who don't like scary movies have to watch it.
Proud mama.
We have to do all the makeup, and they have to all see how cool this is because everybody did so good." So the awards are getting people like my mom who maybe don't like scary movies or gory movies into the scary gory movies.
We need to have your mom talk to my mom.
Okay.
They're never gonna see it.
They won't, but we can arrange for it to happen.
We would just watch horror movies after everyone went to sleep, and this was one of my favorites that we would always binge watch. And so getting to work on a film that has a very special place to my heart, it really meant a lot to me.
Well, it's really cool. I went to, I saw a friend of mine a couple of weeks ago, and he's like, "Hey, I watched that movie finally." He goes, "Holy shit." He goes, "I can't believe it. I thought it was going to be something super chintzy, but it was a real Hollywood scale production." He goes, "I cannot believe how fucking good that looked and how good all those kills were. And it was so gross, and my kids wouldn't watch it." And I was like, "Thank you, Jonas. Thank you for watching. That means a lot to me." So it's really cool.
honestly, like the talent that we had from everybody, the actors, producers, directors, the team in general, it's not surprising that we are winning those awards because I do think we're very professional. We do have a bunch of talented individuals, so it's nice to see that we actually have. But I'm proud of you guys.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
I'm proud of you guys. Yeah. It is nice getting recognition, you know. Put that on your resume.
I mean, I think the best award so far has been just watching it with other people and listening to them go,
oh. Yeah.
It's like, yep, job well done.
This is how we did that. This is how we did that.
Yep.
Yeah. You know how we did that?
Yeah. You gotta watch it twice. Once to actually watch it and once to talk through the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of trial and error in it.
Yeah.
You know, you're creating art and figuring out better ways to do it every time, and every single experience is a learning experience because sometimes something doesn't work the way it's supposed to, and so you have to come up with plan B on the spot with the materials you have on hand.
75R, take R. Last night there was
That's just how I find it, but if that's what you learn,
I feel like it might end up being faster if we just paint it first and then do one coat of final still at the end, just because we'll have to like wait for it to dry and stuff, and I'm pretty sure they're just waiting on this.
I feel like I learn the most, like obviously I learn on every project that I do, but I learn the most when I work with people like you guys and like the collaboration.
Yeah, because we come up with ideas together. So if we don't know how to do something, I mean, we know an idea of how to do something. It's like we just, I don't know, it's just an art all of itself that I think is really cool to create stuff.
I think as far as like props building and prosthetics, I learned a lot from the guy behind the camera, Jason. Look up to your work too. I've had the pleasure of being part of that, and I think honestly, I wouldn't still be doing stuff like this if I didn't have the background of people that I have.
We're family.
Kill me.
That's what we're trying to do.
Kill me already.
We're trying to do it.
But so we are missing Justin and Brent and Tiffany and stuff, but I just want to say thank you guys so much. I know we all worked really hard on this, and you brought my dream to life. And all the effects that we were able to put together, you guys executed them, and I appreciate you guys. Love you guys so much. It's really
our dream.
You guys are the best.
Right now, you prick.